Basic question, but I think sometimes it gets lost. What is the role of a board?
Look, it's the overarching governance structure of an organization, but
Mm,
it's not supposed to be, we're not supposed to be policemen. Um, and I think your role is as much to encourage, motivate, and stand side by side, shoulder to shoulder with the management team as it is to stay on top of governance issues.
mm,
Um, some obvious things, that appointing the right CEO is probably the biggest thing that a board ever does. And if you've got a really good CEO and a good team in the management, the life of the board member is pretty easy. Um, you make sure there aren't any sort of social license issues that are being missed or something. But when a company's struggling, or you've got management challenges, or some of the companies like Qantas have been through, and others, and in dark days, that's when the board really needs to step up, I think, and chart a course with management. Management have to do it. I'm a very firm believer in the dividing line between the two.
yep.
Um, uh, Directors are not there to manage the day to day, but supporting the CEO, like naming names, but when I was at Telstra in the early days of the sort of Telstra was not in a good place, and Andy Penn had no support from the investment community. Um, he was an outstanding CEO, very good strategy, clear direction, but I had to defend him as chairman for 2 or 3 years from investors, um, and who were impatient. Um, so I think the board had a big role there to protect what they saw was the right strategy. Brambles, not absolute case in point. So 3 years ago, or whenever it was, Brambles was not in a good place. The shares were down at $9 or something.
Mm,
And Graham and the management team, with a lot of work with us as well, with the board and myself, but came up with a transformation program. It involved some risk and big investment. We announced it to the market. The market hated it, wrote the shares down by 23% or something in like a week. Um,
that's pretty savage.
but but we stuck to our guns, and supported Graham and the team in delivering it. Now the share price is $20, and everyone thinks it was a great strategy, but they didn't for quite a long time. And it's quite easy for a board to say, just go with the flow and cop the flak, or just fire the CEO, or do whatever you think investors of the day want. Which is, you need a bit of backbone to. If you're right, I mean, you can be wrong too, and if you're wrong,
Yeah.
you need the backbone to be honest and accept that you're wrong and change. But in those two instances, we were right, and I think a lot of the investment community was not right. And so our job was to stick to that and support management in getting through that period.